So as I look at number 19, the issue to me is the radical in the denominator. Normally I would say multiply it by itself. However, I see that I can take the square root of 36. The square root of 36 is 6 times 2 is 12. And then if I tree 20, 2, 10, 2, 5, circle the doubles. Sorry about that. Double goes on the outside. And then I can simplify 2 over 12, which is rad 5 over 6. Boom, there's the answer. Number 20, I have a problem with a radical, but since it's being subtracted, I have to multiply by the conjugate. I'll do the numerator first. This one's similar to number, I feel like I remember doing this one. On page 1, number 9, it's similar, but this, if you notice, this is an I conjugate, and this is a radical. But they're both radicals, so it's the same idea. So 5 rad 3 times negative 2 is negative 10 rad 3. 5 rad 3 times rad 3. Well, when you multiply a radical by itself, it eliminates the radical. So that's 3 times 5 is 15. And then the denominator, I'm going to box it out. Negative 2 minus rad 3. Negative 2 plus rad 3. 4 minus 2 rad 3. Plus 2 rad 3 cancel. Minus rad 3 times rad 3 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So anything over 1 is itself. So that means, boom, the answer is D. Number 21. When I look at number 21, there are several ways to do it. I could actually set it equal to 0. So I could subtract 43. And I'd be left with 2x squared minus 40 equals 0. And then I could take out a 2. But the problem with this is this isn't lending itself to be what I want to. So I know if it's just an x squared, I can solve like I solve for x. So I would subtract 3. 2x squared equals 40. Divide by 2. X squared equals 20. Square root, square root. I treed 20 up there. So I'm just going to copy it. 2 rad 5. So x equals plus or minus 2 rad 5. The answer is A. Okay, find all the zeros. That means I need to set it equal to 0. So one of the answers, let me show my work. Minus 1 minus 1. 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3. Negative 1/3 is one of my answers. They all say negative 1/3. Now if I'm gonna do this one next, the x squared minus 3. So x squared minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. X squared equals 3, square root, square root. So another answer is x equals plus or minus rad 3. So far I know that negative 1/3 works, which is there, 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 and there. And rad 3 and negative rad 3 work. So there's in there, so A's out. And then I just need to solve this next one. So that's 5x squared plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1. Divide by 5. I know I'm going to be getting an imaginary answer because of the negative, so I need to look for an I. No I there. There's an I and there's an I. Okay. So, wow, this one's going to be a little bit of a workout. So if I square root this, I take out the I. The square root of 1 is 1 over rad 5. The way to get rid of a radical is to multiply it by itself. 1 times rad 5 times I is I rad 5. Rad 5 over 5 is 5. So that lends itself to C. Okay. Let's do number 24 because it's right there. Do the opposite. So that's out. Plus y, do the opposite. So that one's out. And then I have to square the radius. So the answer is D. Let's go over to this one. All I'm asking for you to do in number 23 is take the value of 1, I think it's 1, okay, and plug that in. So I'm going to go 4 to the 1 minus 1 minus 2. Notice these are little, so they say little. 1 minus 1 is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Minus 2, negative 1. Okay. Now, I know you see all these fractions, so I would like to point out, let's say if you ended up with 4 to the negative 2, okay? 4 to the negative 2 is the same thing as 1 over 4 squared, which would be 1 over 16. So keep in mind when your exponents are negative, you end up with a fraction. Okay, that's probably why they have those in there. But it's not the actual problem, just an example. This one is solving. Distribute, distribute. 24p minus 15 equals 195. Bring down the 6p, put those together, and add 15. 30p equals 0, carry the 1, 0, carry the 1, 2. Wait, I did something wrong. Carry the 1, 210, divide by 30. Zeros are gone, 21 divided by 3 is 7. Okay. Distribution, careful. Negative 3 rad 6 times rad 2 is negative 3 rad 12. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 rad 6. The reason you don't see any of the answers is because you can tree. So that lends itself to 2 rad 3. But I had a negative 3, so negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 rad 3 minus 6 rad 6. Now, I can't put these together because the radicals are different, which is why that's the answer. Now, I do have to say, if you ended up getting negative 6 rad 6 minus 6 rad 6, it would be negative 12 rad 6. This reminds me of negative 6x minus 6x would be negative 12x. Just so you can see the relationship. Okay? Page 3, done.